a signaling mechanism for narcissists and cult members and political activists. Am I a man or a woman? You can't tell, let me tell you. They identify who's willing to suspend reality in the name of ideology and who is not. Now, the deeply attention-starved singer, Sam Smith, is pushing this into absurdity. He now demands to be called a Fisherthem instead of a fisherman. Watch.
You're a big fan of fishing.
I do love fishing.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
What?
Yeah, I'd love to be a fisherthem.
What, like a fly fisherman?
I'd be any type of fisherthem. I think I would like to, one day I'd just like to end my days fishing.
Yeah, that guy does not fly fish. Sorry. Piers Morgan is host of Piers Morgan Uncensored, one of our favorite people. He joins us tonight. So, Piers, what do you make of this? The story doesn't seem to be about his art, his music, but about himself.
Well, first of all, Tucker, very disappointed you haven't given me my own pronouns. Hottest Briton in the world, which if you don't call me that every time you introduce me, I'm going to have you cancelled.
It's implied. We think that.
We're both in our prime here, as Don Lemon would tell us. Look, the thing about Sam Smith is he doesn't even know who he is. So he spent most of his life becoming ever more chameleon-like in how he wants to be identified and what we should call him. And in the last month alone, he's turned up at the Grammys identifying as Satan. He turned up at the Brit Awards in that large black balloon outfit, latex, I believe. And now he wants to be referred to as Fisherthem, even though clearly there's only one of him. And anyone who's been fishing, I've been fishing, you've been fishing, when you fish on your own, there's just one of you. You are a fisherman, that's it. He is male, indisputably, and when he fishes, he's a fisherman, not Fisherthem. Because apart from anything else, Tucker, it is not grammatical. It is a grammatical sin to refer to yourself in the plural when there's just one of you staring at us.
Yeah, I think he's saying I am Legion. You make such a deep point, though. He doesn't know who he is. You've covered famous people, entertainment figures for, many, many years, decades. Do you think there's something about that business that scrambles a person's understanding of himself?
Yeah, I think fame is actually one of the most lethal drugs there is. And I think it breeds this sort of extraordinary level of narcissism and attention-seeking. And he seems to be in a sort of downward spiral of this stuff. But there is a serious point to this, Tucker, and it's something that happened in the UK, actually, very recently. If you allow in society limitless identity, right? If you can just basically identify as whatever you want whenever you feel like it. There was a case, extraordinary case, I'm sure you've reported on this, up in Scotland, where a man raped two women. And then when it came to his trial, he suddenly put his hand up and said, I identify as a woman, so that he could get an easier time in a women's prison and be locked away, of course, with potential new targets. And he was sent as a woman to a woman's prison. Now, there was such a furore over this against the First Minister of Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon, whose idea this was, and she wanted to increase the ability to identify as whatever you want, that actually in the end, he was taken to where he should have been, which was a male prison, while still pretending to be a woman. Nicola Sturgeon just lost her job. One of the most powerful, successful politicians in Europe, the head of the Scottish Parliament, had been there for 8 years. She got kicked out of office over this scandal. Because ultimately, if you can't accept the absurdity when it stares you in the face, as it did then I don't know what you can accept. And politicians have to be very careful. So fine for Sam Smith. He can do what the hell he likes, right? Sam Smith, he, she, them, they, Fisherthem. I don't care what he or they wants to call themselves. I do care, though, when they try and enforce that language on the rest of us. And the penalty, if you don't identify now Sam Smith as Fisherthem, if you catch him with his rod, then if the penalty is cancellation, which is what people like he, they would like it to be, i.e. the ultimate sanction. If you don't refer to them, they, he, Fisherthem in the way that they have decided they want to be referred, you must be expunged from society and cancelled. This is the stuff of complete and utter madness.
I would make one correction. If you stumble upon Sam Smith at the stream, you have to ignore his rod. I think that's